Isn't that fun to play?
It is.
It's like a very
I'm sorry if I'm
satisfying
touching
game to
it.
play with.
Okay.
I don't want to break it.
Is it
Oh
recording?
my god,
Yeah.
this looks like a little face.
Sick. Alright. Whoa, we got the double angle.
Oh wait.
I guess it doesn't matter that much. But.
Alright, welcome to For the Record. We're going to be talking about music and albums and things today. So I basically sent you guys home with some homework to do, to basically pick like favorite albums of yours, and then we were going to come and talk about these albums today. So whoever wants to introduce their favorite album, we can just start talking about that. It's totally fine. I feel like you want to go first. I feel like you're most equipped to start this conversation in the
okay.
most effective way.
Yeah, so my favorite album, well, it's not necessarily my favorite album, but I feel like in terms of an album that has a lot of subject matter to discuss, I feel like Days of Future Past by the Moody Blues has so much to unpack. Just the album itself is enchanting. I think we were just listening to it before we started recording, and it's enchanting, and it feels like a fairy tale, and it's timeless, and it's imaginative, and it's just really beautifully crafted. So we listened to the first song, "The Day Begins," we kind of before, just to get a little inspired on everything we're going to talk about, and just, you know, you guys, like that poem at the end is just so, it's like, it sounds so profound, but personally, like, it's achingly beautiful. Like, it's just so attractive sounding, like that, just that orchestra and like all of that music, and then just resolving it all with this beautiful poem at the end about,
The feelings.
yeah, like it's like the whole,
Feeling,
yeah,
man.
yeah, like just like the whole, like the feel of it, you know, like, and then the poem at the end just kind of describing, like, you know, the nights, and it's obviously.
Well, I think the
metaphorical,
most interesting thing that you said about it was when you were like, go home and listen to this album. I was like, okay, like I'll go home and like listen to a couple songs. You're like, no, sit your ass down and
Yeah.
listen to the
It's
whole
not
thing.
listening to a couple.
And I was like, okay, Emily, yeah, I'm gonna go home and listen to this entire album once.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing, like, about listening to the album and even listening to it back, like listening to those first two songs again, like sitting at this table before like we started recording, was the fact that like that first song makes you want to listen to the rest. The first song's beautiful anyways.
Yeah.
But that first song, like, it makes you want to listen to the
Yeah.
rest of the album because it just sets it up in like such a theatrical.
Totally.
Way.
It's so grand. You
Yeah,
know,
it's like
so
I gotta
grand.
like go on this adventure and like
Yes,
see where
yeah.
the rest of the song
And
takes.
I mentioned to you guys, you guys didn't listen. Did you listen to the whole thing, Jess? Or
Yes,
you
I
did?
did.
Okay, so like the cool thing about that first song, "The Day Begins," is that it incorporates all of the notes and a lot of the keys from all the different songs, and you can hear that. Like listening to it once, and then listening to it again, you'll notice that.
Oh, that
Pick
part
up-
was in
yeah,
that
like,
song. and
that orchestra is playing
like that
the
melody from that
melody
song.
from you know, like 1910 or something like that. So yeah, no, it's a beautiful album, and it's just timeless, and it's so unique, and it's so refreshing. You know, don't you agree? Like it's just like a breath of fresh air, especially in the current times we're facing.
Musical climate.
Like it's this beautiful springtime, and
Mhm.
like just like that album, like you can just, it really emphasizes that. So, yeah.
It's so huge and so grand. There's obviously so much. There was so much creativity, clearly,
Yeah.
and so much time that went into like the
Yeah.
construction of this
100%,
album, and
yeah.
like that's something that I think that quality is something that's lost.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like not the majority, because there's a lot of great music nowadays, but in terms of like top
Right.
40 kind of stuff,
Yeah.
I feel like music's geared to be very simple for people to listen to,
Right.
very accessible, almost
Yeah.
like fast food. Like it's not like music's not trying to do anything.
Profound.
It's
Yes,
profound. It's not trying to
yeah.
push the boundaries
It's
anymore.
like-
It's not trying to make a statement like
Right.
that album's
It
doing.
reminds me of like the Industrial Revolution, just like
Yeah.
like these like production lines of like, you know, this like cheap material I don't even know, crap that people are making, and it just, I mean, not that, I mean, I can't imagine how hard it is to put out a song that is, I mean, that probably takes a lot, like, making your music, like, producing a song is not easy.
No, it sucks.
It's
hard.
hard, and
Yeah,
it's difficult, and it's overwhelming, so being able to make something that is so, that just gets to the top of the charts, like, that is not something that's easy to do, and I'm not disheartening that at all, but I think, like, it's just, like, that is something, incorporating an orchestra, orchestrating something, and, composing something like that
Well,
is.
it's so crazy, because, like, how many members are in Moody Blues? There's probably like 4 or 5 guys.
Yeah, yep.
Okay. So, like, you have 4 or 5 guys, and you put them in a studio session, and even, like, me being in a trio band, like, it's hard with, like, 3 guys.
Yeah, yep.
Like, when you're adding, like, other band members, and then you decide, oh, we're gonna need a 25-person orchestra to come into the studio and record, like, this whole thing, like that. I can't even imagine how much work that must be.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's done masterfully, because that first song is, like, beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a
It's
beautiful
beautiful,
song,
yeah.
straight up.
Like imagine being the only artist and you having to call people from a whole other state and have to wait like a week or a month to like produce a song.
Yeah, no, it's not easy. Like, producing a song is not easy. That's why I'm so amazed when albums like Days of Future Past is like a thing, because it's like, oh my god, like, even conceptualizing something like that is like, how, like, it's just, oh my god, the poetry is just beautiful, and the music is just like so incredible. So,
And that first song, it's like they're considered like pop from the '60s, and it's like, yeah, let's do a 5-minute song.
Yeah.
Let's make it an entire orchestral arrangement,
Yeah.
and then let's finish the song with a poem.
yeah,
Like there'd be people, like, you tell people that that's what the song is, and they'd be like,
yeah.
They'd be like, I'm not
what the
listening
fuck,
to that.
man?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
but like when you hear this, like, this is amazing. Like, this is like, there's how many other songs do that same thing?
Yeah.
Probably not a single other song sounds anything like that.
We should show the
song
people.
does.
We should show the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moody Blues. Are they both active? Moody Blues. No, Days of Future Past by Moody Blues. Check it out.
Jason, that's why.
Big fan. Spokesperson.
No,
Moody Blues. Sponsor
Moody
this
Blues.
young lady. Oh yeah. Do you want to move on to talking about the next album? You can
Sure.
talk about yours if you want.
Okay, so the album I had chosen was Clean by Soccer Mommy, which is it's an indie album. It's like an indie bedroom pop kind of album. Most of the songs on the album focus on like growing up and being like a young adult and finding your way through life. They kind of all seem to have that like similar theme throughout them. I would describe the music as being like very like ethereal. Like her voice is just so beautiful. There's almost like a haunting quality to the songs, even though it's not like scary by any means. But
No,
there's
it's haunting.
It
It's
is.
like it like follows you.
Yes.
You know, like it just kind of like stays with you.
yeah.
More like the feeling of it, and
You
yeah,
can,
no, I
and
get
even
that.
like, I like what you said earlier when we were listening to it, you said like, even like without listening to the words, just the way the music, the way it leaves you
Yeah,
feeling.
yeah. Like I can't hear. The way she sings. It's like a whisper, very soft, and she doesn't.
It's like ghostly.
Yeah, she doesn't
No.
pronounce like not every word is not clear. Like she's not enunciating every single thing that she's saying, but she doesn't need to because of like the way the music sounds. Like you know what she's saying without actually hearing.
Right,
It's
it's-
just cool.
And I would say like a lot of songs off the album, I know we only listened to the one together, but I would say probably all the songs off the album have that vibe, and it's all a different kind of feeling. Like they don't leave you with the same exact feeling.
Yeah,
They all, like, some of them are a little bit more sad, some of them are a little bit more upbeat, some of them are a little more like anger focused, and you really get like a whole range of those emotions.
Yeah.
And you really like the way she's able to put her emotions into a song is just I love it when artists are able to do that, because I like to be able to feel other people's emotion through their music.
Yeah, like seeing artists be vulnerable, you know, and they're
Yes.
not like holding anything back from their songwriting. It's like, yeah, like I have all this difficult stuff to deal with in my life, and I'm gonna like completely translate that into what I'm writing about and what I'm singing about. Like,
I think when you can turn something like any like bad thing in your life, or even the good stuff too, but when you can turn that into like something beautiful, like music or poetry or artwork or any of those kinds of things, it's just
It's amazing.
it's so mind
And
blowing.
honestly, like that is so inspiring.
It
Is being able to turn something, just an experience that you had, whether it was good or bad or like just something that happened to you that was, you know, like worth writing about, like just
Yeah,
being
worth
able to,
remembering.
just being able to put it into words and craft it so beautifully to where you can like, people will listen to it and be like, not only do I relate to this, what she's saying, but it's so good to listen to this, and like it feels so good. Yeah, no, I
It
love
goes
that.
beyond words.
And that's
Yeah.
the beauty. That's the beauty of music.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
and it's so, I mean, like the way you basically opened up and we're framing like the way like this album makes you feel is it's like she's singing about like a lot of like coming of age stuff,
Yeah.
right? And I feel like it's cool that she's really shining like an honest light on that. It's like, yeah, like when you are first becoming, like when you're entering your first few years of adulthood, like it's scary.
And it's rough.
And it's
and,
rough, and there's like a lot of, like that transition is really difficult for a lot of people.
And I
you
think
know?
having music that goes along with it, and so many different people can look at a song and be like, I've been in those shoes, I know what she's talking about.
Yeah.
It helps people feel like they're, you know, like a little less alone, and like
Yeah.
everything's gonna be okay.
And you want to know something that, like, I don't listen to a lot of music like that's newer because I have a hard time relating to it, and I have a hard time, like I mentioned earlier, like I love music that's poetic and that means something.
Yes.
And I always love to hear music like that because it's like, oh my God, thank God, it still
Right.
exists. Like,
Yes.
thank God, there's still
It's
music
still here.
that,
There's
yes,
still
yes.
hope.
Sometimes
Yes,
they- you just
yeah.
gotta go like to the undercurrents to find
You
it,
have
but
to
it's
find
there.
it, and like it might sound a little different, and it might like it might have different. Of course, like all music has, you know, like different vibes, but like it's still there, and it's like freaking awesome.
That's like the most refreshing thing
Yeah.
about music.
It's like you there's so much to take away from like her, like the singer of that band. What's her name again?
Well, it's just her.
Oh,
I mean,
it's just her.
Well, and, like she has like people who like play like the background instruments,
Yeah.
but it's mostly her that writes all her own music. But her real name is Sophie Allison.
Sophie Allison. Shout out Sophie Allison.
Yes.
I'll
Big
remember
shout
your
out to
name
her.
next time.
Shout out.
Shout out, please get us a sponsor. We have no money. But it's like when you listen to like the instrumental arrangements, it's like she is doing such. There's like a type of songwriting where there's not really an emphasis on like trying to say this the right way. There's not really an emphasis on like, oh, how can I write like drums that are really cool or like
Yeah.
a guitar part that's super cool. It's like she is so tastefully like supporting
Yes.
what she is trying to sing about.
And
Like it's all vibe. It's not really
Yes,
watch
yeah.
these like listen to the shredding on the guitar
Yeah.
because it sounds cool. It's like I'm playing the perfect guitar part to add to the emotion of what I'm singing.
I
about.
also feel like, I mean, I cut you off, Josh, but I also
Okay.
feel like this music is like, that just made me think of this. This music is like the perfect music to play in the background of something. Like while you're
Yes.
doing homework or while you're cleaning or while you're like just like cooking. I don't know, whatever you're doing, just because it has like that vibe to it. You know what I mean? Like you don't need to, like, I feel like the Days of Future Past, that's like you kind of have to tune into to be able to hear like all of the little like nuances and all of that stuff. But that album, it's so good to listen to it, but it's probably like, I haven't listened to the whole thing, but I also feel like it's just like a vibe. Like
It
you just
definitely
keep
is.
vibing to it.
And I would say, like, even like across like her different albums, like pretty much almost all of her songs, there's something about it that like there'll be like something about the song that has like a very unique quality to it.
Yeah.
Whether it's like the drums or sometimes she'll add like a very like dissonant kind of like vibe
Yeah.
to it, where like it's like more of like a more like haunting and like I don't know, like all her songs are so there's like a uniqueness to them that I feel like you can't. It's really hard. You probably couldn't find it
No, it-
somewhere else, but.
It's funny, like when you say like dissonant, it's like some of those songs, it's like it almost feels like you're inside of like her brain
Yeah.
as you're
Oh, that's
listening.
interesting.
Like
You
when
know what's interesting is I feel like that song has like that echo to it, like where like you're almost in somebody's like
it's like you are in
Yes,
someone's like
yeah,
thoughts and like thought process.
Yeah, that's cool. No, that's a cool way to think about it.
Like that's why I love like very simplistic but like incredibly like atmospheric, like layering
Yes.
instrumentation.
Yeah. Cool. No, that's a good point.
It's cool. I want to listen to them more.
I would definitely
Listen to her
recommend
more.
it.
Listen to
I
her.
would recommend it.
Yeah.
Parker, take it
Okay.
away.
Fuck, why did I make myself go wet? So my album was Living Room by my new favorite band, Lawrence. I love you guys so much. You're never gonna see this video, but like I am obsessed with you and your music and your whole life and everything. I picked this album because it is one of the first albums in a long time where I needed, like, to be honest, like sometimes for me to hear a new band and hear a song and be like, wow, I want to listen to the rest of this album. Like that doesn't really happen for me a lot, and this is the first album that was like that for me. I really think that they do a lot of very versatile things on this album. They explore a lot of very different avenues, but you can definitely see where all their influences are coming from and the direction that they're trying to move in. And it's so funny because I realized this. I feel like if you look at like a history of like very famous bands, and I'm not saying they're very famous, hopefully they'll be famous soon, but when you look at bands and the records in terms of quality, I feel like something about a band's sophomore album release is like always something special, and it's
Yeah,
I
always
agree with
something.
that.
It's always something different because it's like you look at a band and they have their debut album, and I feel like that is just any artist, any band's attempt to like get their foot in the door and be like, yeah, we're here. This is what we sound like. This is what we do. And I feel like when you look at a second album, that is really when a band is trying to like sink their teeth into like what their identity is going to be.
That's funny you
Yeah,
say that
yeah.
because the Days of Future Past was the Moody Blues sophomore
I
album.
think Clean
So
was also Soccer
cool. No, that's a really
There's something about it. There's
point.
something about a second album. I feel like that's.
Oh, totally.
It's like
It's like balls to the wall. You know
Yeah,
what I
like,
mean?
let's-
Let's just do it.
Let's really show.
Yeah.
Let's really show people what we're trying to do.
Totally.
And I just thought that was a funny correlation because so many of my favorite albums by artists are second albums, and I'm not saying that's the case for everyone because there's probably some
Yeah.
absolutely garbage sophomore albums, but I really feel like there's something to be said about that, and I mean, I'm hoping that you guys listen to a couple songs off
Oh,
of
I
it.
did.
I know the music's not necessarily for everybody.
I listened to the whole album, and honestly, like there was definitely some songs I liked more than others, but the whole album was very good.
Yeah. Who doesn't like punk? Like, how
Yeah.
could you just
It's-
not
it's
like
hard
punk?
not to.
Yeah. It's
Like
fresh.
you had to see me like sitting in my computer chair, like kind of like
And you're
Yeah.
just like feeling it,
Yeah.
like in your
Yeah,
body.
it's music that
Yeah.
is like you really feel it. Like you feel like Days of Future Past in a different way. You feel like what was it? Sorry, clean. You feel clean in like a really different way, and then you feel something like what's it called again?
Living Room.
Okay, you feel that, and it's like it just hits you like completely.
like
just-
no joke. I was
Yeah.
listening to it at like 9:30 in the morning, and I wanted to like get up and
Dance. Yeah, no, it makes
Like,
you want to dance. Yeah.
I was like, it's too early for me
Yeah.
to be doing
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah.
I want to.
It's so
Same face the whole
soulful.
time.
Yeah.
It's
Totally.
I mean, I think the reason why I love that so much is because I grew up, you know, like my earliest memories of like music, like hearing music for the first time is like Stevie Wonder, that like that my parents would be playing. So like I have like such a, I don't know how to describe it, like
That's fun for
like
real.
a very childlike joy that comes out of hearing music like
Right.
that, and there's so much like nostalgia that comes from music like that.
Yeah.
So to hear music that's so soulful and so funky, and it's not, I mean, clearly like musically, like what you said, like you can be brushing your teeth at 8 in the morning and you're listening to the right song, like you'll want to dance like in the mirror, but like music that's really just trying to like get into your heart and get into your soul and try and like really affect the way you're feeling. Like when I listen to this music, I feel like it's trying to make you feel better about life. It's trying to get you into like a better mood. And
Lift you up.
exactly.
So to speak.
Yeah.
Go skating.
Yeah. Literally, it's like, break off on a tangent here, but like they're Silk Sonic. I'm sure you know who Silk Sonic
Yes,
is.
yes.
You would probably like this album because it's got a very similar kind of vibe. Like you just kind of want to be, out on like a sunny, hot day,
Yes.
getting snow cones with
Yeah.
your friends, and you want to be skating
Afro.
around or whatever it is.
Like for
Afro
some
hairspray.
reason, like that song was like very cinematic to me. Like I
Really?
just, yeah, it makes me think of like
Heartburn song.
Movie.
Heartburn
Yeah.
song. Shout out.
yeah,
Check it out.
Yeah, it's
That
very
song
like,
is
Big
the
stink
best
face
one
the whole
off the
time.
yeah, no,
album.
it's a great song.
Because that was the one, like, when it came on, when I was listening to the album, I was like,
You were like,
whoa.
what
I
the
was
hell
like,
is
I
that?
was like, this one is, because there was like quite a few songs I really liked off that one, but I was, when that one came on, I was like, this one is the
Yeah,
best.
totally.
It's the banger. It's and
I wouldn't be surprised if that was the song that like got them like
Was that the
just
song that, like,
no, I mean it's like a combination of like of a bunch of different songs. I mean, I'm not really sure about like what song statistically is the most successful off of Living Room, but
it's a single off the album though, right?
it is.
Or-
It is. I think it's a single.
It
If
should
I'm not
be,
wrong
yeah.
with that. But it's that is definitely just going to see them live a couple weeks ago. That like when that song came on, people were like freaking out,
Yeah.
and it was like a party. Like it's a party when you listen to that song, and I mean I know we're talking about arguably like the funkiest high energy one in the whole album, but the rest of the album there's quite a couple like
Oh.
down tempo songs.
yeah, there's, I don't know what it was called, but it was one of the songs where the girl was mostly singing.
Was
and-
it the Make a Move?
I think it was that
Like,
song. Yeah, I liked that one a lot, too.
Yeah. You laughing at me singing?
It gives you a vibe like you want to go to like a old diner,
Old
Yeah.
Diner.
get
Yeah.
some eggs.
Get some eggs, dude.
Yeah.
Have some like super sweet like old black woman like come up with
Yeah.
what's up, shit? You know?
Gives you a piece of pie.
Some coffee.
Yeah, no, I just picture like when I said it cinematically, I picture that like just starting the day off right, just like really somebody who's really charismatic,
Yeah.
somebody who's got it going on.
Well,
They're
it's,
just happy.
it's
Yeah.
it's like they describe their. I've watched videos about them talking about this album. It's like they love writing songs where they're very. Get your ass in here. Is it unlocked?
I'll go on.
They write their lyrics very ambiguously because the Heartburn song, the song we were just talking about, for example, the song was literally inspired. The song was don't fuck up my podcast. The song was inspired by their friend, a bandmate of theirs who ate like super spicy hot sauce and didn't know.
Yeah.
So they literally started writing the song as like a joke about the
Yeah.
situation. But what makes the meaning of the song lyrically ambiguous is because it is literally about them talking about their friend eating hot sauce, but the lyrics can also be interpreted as like consoling someone through a breakup. So
Yeah.
it's like the lyrics can be taken very literally and almost comedically, but it can also be like a song you would sing to like your friend after they got broken up
I
or something.
love it when people do that.
Yeah.
That's, like, amazing.
They write songs about they write songs about simple things. They don't need to write like songs about very. I mean, they do have songs about serious topics, but like
Not every song has.
I love like songs that are just like "I Am the Walrus" by the Beatles. Like there's literally no meaning behind that.
Right.
There's no meaning. It literally is just a bunch of
yeah.
Or like Helter Skelter.
yeah. Helter
It's
Skelter is
just about
another
it's just
song.
about like a fucking slide.
Yeah. It's so it's cool. Like yeah, I like songs that are just
Yeah.
They don't have to take themselves.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
they there's an interview where they said our top influences are like, and I'm quoting them. I might get this quote wrong. Lauren sees this. I'm very sorry, but like the brother in this brother sister duo said it's like Stevie Wonder, Randy Newman, the Beatles, Seinfeld. Like those are like that's literally
That's a
what he
lot.
said for like his influences. And
I love that.
Cool.
But seriously, they're amazing instrumentally.
Totally.
They're just they bang on their instruments. It's insane. Vocals crazy. But yeah. I think that wraps up a pretty good discussion for our first podcast. Check out the albums. For the record, you're probably never gonna see us upload another episode again.
That's totally an original name too. That's probably not taken.
And we
It's probably
love it.
taken. Just
Shut up.
that's
It's not.
a-
It's
Stop the
not.
video. Stop the video.
But Fucking girl. Do you want me to stay for the next one? Do you think we can get it done fast?